The Lagos State Governor has not been seen publicly in quite some days, but this has not meant a slow in the relevant agencies and ministries' actions and activities across this period. Many of them have been giving account of what they have been doing in the first 2 years of the Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu administration. Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of This is Lagos. The Lagos State government has revealed plans to abolish the current state polytechnic and make it a University of Science and Technology. The special advisor to the governor on education, Tokunbo Wahab, says the discrimination polytechnics graduates face and the non-existence of such models in other nations informed the decision.
One of the lessons from the EndSARS crisis was that we had a lot of our youths not fully engaged. So to this end, we were able to engage 25,000 of our youths and then empower them across the state. We were able to train 120,000 students and pupils in our public primary and secondary schools in 720 schools across the 6 educational districts in the state. Teach them coding, scratching, cloud, and all stuff. There was so much discrimination between the BSc holders, HND holders. Those that with HND certificate have to do conversion to be given a bit of relevance. And globally, those that colonized us have even shut down polytechnic education. So we are seeking to transform the polytechnic to the Lagos State University of Science and Technology.
The special advisor also reviewed the government's efforts towards training its students to specialize in digital economy.
Look at our team's agenda, and right in the middle we have education and technology, which means we have to ramp up capacity with respect not just to education formally but to the technology end of it. So because the library board is under this office, we choose to let us engage and pick libraries in all our public schools across the states, fix them up, upgrade them, and put in place IT facilities for all our libraries. And so far we've done 107 public libraries across the state in our public schools.
Meanwhile, the State Commissioner for Education says its current remodeling of schools will come with plans to ensure such decays are not repeated.
We have built 300 classrooms, 7 new hostel blocks, 87,000 units of dual composite furniture for 755 primary and secondary schools. We do not want a situation where we come back a couple of years down the line and the buildings have deteriorated again. As we are building them, we are putting into them a deliberate structure of facilities management. And we came into this by working with LASIAMA. So these schools, we hope, will maintain the structures even for many years to come.
The Lagos State government has revealed it saved 138 billion naira from infernos and accidents within the last 2 years. The Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Relations, which oversees all states' first responders, says while several properties were lost in some incidents, the state is looking to improve response times and educate the public on actions that can help reduce loss of life and property.
A total of almost 5,000 facilities were inspected by the Fire Service Agency, and this is to ascertain their level of fire safety compliance. We have plans actually to step up this. I can assure you that in the next 1 year, by the time we are rendering another report, this would have doubled. In case of emergency calls, we still have our 767 and 112. These are the Lagos fire hotlines. The Fire Service Agency continues in its own way to do what we call radio enlightenment advocacy and so on, to ensure that at least people understand the seriousness about keeping their homes, their organizations, their buildings safe.
The Lagos State government has given reasons for not signing the death warrant to execute convicted criminals. The State Commissioner for Justice, Muyashiro Nigbanjo, said globally the death sentence has not abated crime, as new evidence can be discovered years after, which might have proven the convict's innocence after execution.
If they catch a thief in Oshodi Market today, it might probably be lynched if police does not arrive on time. Even though other thieves see that lynching, are you telling me that the next day people will not steal in Oshodi Market? I am not so sure that taking life will be a deterrent for preventing crime. I believe there are other means in which we can do this.
The Commissioner also said the ministry is keen to reduce the number of cases awaiting trials by digitizing all arrests and prosecutions in order to keep all chains of command accountable.
This won't be possible without using technology. So we are ensuring that our key departments, namely the Directorate of Public Prosecutions, the Directorate of Civil Litigation, employ up-to-date case management technology. So this morning, it was my privilege and honor to launch the very first of its kind in Nigeria, the Justice Clock for the Department of Public Prosecution. The Justice Clock is the case management application for the DPP's office. And from when they receive the file from the police, the clock starts to run. So they know that we have told the public that in 14 days, the DPP's advice will be out, so the clock starts running. The clock also doesn't stop after the legal advice is issued. It continues to run to show how long before trial was commenced, how long before trial was concluded. So that, and this process is electronic, so even if, as I'm sitting in this wonderful premises, I can look at my phone and see what is happening live in the DPP's office. Why has this case not been assigned? Why has this case not been arraigned? And so that technology will enable the DPP's office to be more efficient. It will enable prosecution to be more efficient. It will also eliminate the awaiting trial syndrome, whereby we have dozens of people in our correctional facilities saying that they are awaiting trial. So from today, anybody who is arrested and his file sent to the Ministry of Justice can go to the Ministry of Justice website and inquire about the status of his or her legal advice. Their family can do it for them, their lawyers can do it for them. And the response you will get is either it is ready or that it is being processed. Once it is ready, it takes you to the next step. Do you want a certified true copy of the legal advice? All this you can do in your offices, in your homes, be you in New York, in Paris, wherever you are. You can confirm the status of your legal advice and you can get a certified true copy electronically without coming to Ministry of Justice in Alausa.
The ministry also reviewed plans to relocate the Igboshere High Court, having been burnt down during the aftermath of the EndSARS protest.
We are also very focused in Lagos State on upholding the rule of law, protecting the rights of citizens. We render free legal advice to our citizens. So those who cannot afford lawyers, I know many people say, Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ a rẹ́jọ́. And that's because apart from the trouble that brings, also the expense involved with it. But your state government has decided to take up that burden of the expense of consulting a lawyer by providing free legal staff advice, not only advice, also to represent people who are impecunious in court when they are taken to court. We also offer a gamut of mediation services. One of the most important ways of ensuring that Lagos State attains the goal of being a 21st century economy is through legislation. We are very focused on legislative reform. The administration of Babajide Sanwo-Olu has delivered the Justice Christopher Segun Court Complex in Etiosa. It comprises of about 4 high courts and about 5 magistrate courts. It's well equipped. It's the most modern court building you can find in Lagos State. That was delivered, I believe that was delivered in December of 2019. Right now, owing to the destruction of the Igbo Sharia High Court, we are providing alternatives. The Lagos State government sought and obtained the approval of the Attorney General of the Federation to convert the premises of the Ministry of Justice, Federal Ministry of Justice in Marina, as temporary courts to replace the Igbo Sharia courts that are destroyed and under construction, to putting it back. We have also, the Lagos State government also had at Osborne Foreshore Estate, a vacant property, which has been converted to, I believe, 9 courtrooms, which will be ready, by God's grace, the end of May of this year. And so the judiciary, the judges, will be able to move in. In also collaborating with the Nigerian police, we have built statement recording and interrogation rooms. So most of you familiar with the work of the police, one of the most problematic areas is this issue of police obtaining statements by torture from arrested people. It's a big feature of criminal jurisdiction. Most cases you go to, the defendants always raise the issue that their confessional statement was obtained under duress. So then the court goes into what we call trial within trial. It causes delay, and in the trial within trial, you virtually repeat all that you would, the evidence you would have given in obtaining conviction on the substantive charge. So to eliminate that, what did we and our partners decide to do? To build statement-taking rooms which have video recorders, so that everything that is said in that room is recorded and captured. So the defendant or the person taken into that room to write a statement will not be able to say that it was forced out of him, because it's captured in audio and visual form.
The Lagos State government has revealed that a total number of 3,041 beggars, destitute, and mentally challenged people have been rehabilitated and reunited with their families within the past 2 years. The State's Commissioner for Youth and Social Development, Olusegun Dawodu, says despite its best efforts, the number of the homeless are increasing due to a number of factors from within the state, country, and neighboring countries.
After medical checkup, counseling, interview and training the children and the adults who have no means of livelihood and place of abode in Lagos, some were transferred and handed over to their respective state government officials after locating their various parents and homes. Our intervention is not with a view to putting them in jail or criminalizing them, but with a view to counseling them, to assisting them and integrating them so that they can be of good behavior.
The ministry says it will continue to ensure residents are actively engaged by creating the right conditions within the state.
They also play major roles through participation in various children-related programs, including Children's Day, the commemoration of the Day of the African Child, and the International Day of the Girl Child. Members sit quarterly to deliberate on issues that affect them. It is a 3-year single tenure. Membership is open to children in public schools in the state whose ages range between 10 and 15 years, and it is by election. The ministry also presented some cash gifts to 2 families who gave birth to quadruplets in the state. This gesture was to support the families and make life livable for them and their children. Types of cases reported and rescued. Physical abuse, 14 male, 49 female, totaling 63 in all. Sexual abuse, 4 male, 30 female, totaling 34 in number. Emotional abuse, 1 male, 1 female. Child neglect, 12 male, 8 female. Abandonment, 28 male, 32 female. Lost but found children, 11 male, 10 female. Children in need of shelter, 40 male, 51 female. Child labor, 2 male, 2 female. Children placed in government homes and government-approved private homes, 51 male, 74 female. Family social service. As a proactive approach to the preservation of family stability, which is a core unit of the society, the family social services perform its major function of service delivery to the teeming population of the state to strengthen and ensure the cohesiveness of the society. To achieve these core objectives, the unit's focus is on 1. Addressing issues of neglect of the child and ensuring proper and adequate maintenance of that child. Resolving custody and access of the child between estranged couple, resolving paternity of the child where there is denial or dispute. 3. Investigation of cases of children who have been abused and partnering with other relevant agencies to ensure that victims get justice. 4. Providing protection for children who have been abused and partnering with other relevant stakeholders. 5. Providing corrections for children found to have exhibited antisocial behavior. Provision of pre-marriage and marriage counseling for couples.
The Lagos State government says it is keen to improve the capacity of the entertainment industry by establishing a film city in the state. The State's Commissioner for Tourism, Arts and Culture, Uzamat Akimbile Yusuf, says over 100 hectares of land have been acquired in Ekpe local government to help improve the quality of production of content in the state while promoting local content.
Presently, we're discussing with 2-3 private partners on just putting our documents together and ensuring that we sign off at the appropriate time. But I can assure us that before the end of this year, work will actually commence on Lagos Film City, because it's something the public is actually yearning to have. We are from New York coming to train them. We are from many other places too coming on board to train these people on all these things. We have create digital marketing, fashion, animation is part of the courses they are actually teaching in the New York school, international school. So I believe by the time they are done, they will be able to compete globally and internationally.
The state government is also looking to harness its waterfronts, especially those with historical roots, to serve as tourist destinations.
Currently, there is a place in Badagry that we are looking at, which is called Tokpo Island. That island served as a prison yard to the colonial masters during the time they came to Nigeria. If any child is being stubborn, that child is being ferried to that island. By the time they give that child 2 to 3 months training, they will return that child to the society. Now, what we are looking at as a government in Lagos State is to turn that island into a resort.
Lagos State has said small-scale industrial estates will receive the required renovation in order to boost their economic viability and adequately harness the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. The Commissioner for Commerce, Industry and Cooperatives, Sulola Fibisola, says the residents of the state will also greatly benefit from the Lekki Free Trade Area, especially neighboring communities in the employment and soft-skill engagement that will abound.
In consideration of the need to ensure a conducive environment for production, the state government recently approved the renovation of two of the facilities in Isolo and Ladipo area in Mushin. It is expected that the renovation will be completed before the end of the third quarter of this year. It is worthy to know that the deep sea port will provide employment to our citizens, especially Lagosians, and it is estimated that 32 local skilled workforce will be employed, 513 local semi-skilled workforce will be employed, 66 local unskilled labor would also be employed.
The ban on Okada has been coming for quite some months now, as the state government has been promising to ensure this is made fully active. But to make sure the ban possible in Lagos, necessary plans have to be put in place to ensure the citizens are not stranded with the regular modes of transportation. Enter the first and last mile buses. While the major highways in Lagos have been somewhat circulated by mass transit buses and commercial buses, several inner roads are filled with commercial motorcycles, and some of whom spill onto the highways. The state government is commissioning what it terms first and last mile buses to help cater for its citizens while commuting in their residential areas.
These buses will connect community routes to the major BRT bus stops, bus terminals, ferry terminals, as well as train stations. Out of the 485 routes that we have identified, we've identified within that at least 286 routes that have been identified as the first and last mile routes. And what we will have is that the routes will be designed to travel no more than 5 kilometers, but always ensuring that we have connectivity, or that we achieve connectivity for intermodal transportation.
The first and last mile bus scheme is therefore a part of our overall transport system that is meant to give Lagosians living in the hinterland relief in accessing the main transport corridors through a safe means. The first and last mile bus scheme will sure make the whole passenger transport chain as seamless, fast, and comfortable as possible.
The governor says it has become imperative to improve the face of transportation and also reduce the menace of unlicensed operators, resulting in crime within the state.
Today we launch the first and the last mile, which is a further fulfillment of one of the measures we promised as a solution to the security situation that we found ourselves, and as we did make mention at last week's town hall meeting. The goal is for the full implementation of a safer and more efficient alternative means of transportation that takes out the needs that it places on Okada, which the FLM buses will be speaking to. And we believe that this will reduce incidents of Okada-related robbery or crime that is committed.
The current estimated number of commercial motorcycles operative in the state are set to exceed 10,000. The government hopes to avail 5,000 of these 11-seater buses within a few months. The estimated number of commercial motorcycles in Lagos is set to exceed 50,000, though the exact figures are not yet known. To ensure that the ban on Okada is made possible in Lagos, the state government has to scale up its plans from the current 300 to 500 of this first and last mile buses to even greater scale in the months to come. That completes our episode for this week. And until next time, I am Wilson Omoni, and this is Lagos.